It is 6:48 on Breakfast Television. It's going to be a very busy week again. We say that every week when we talk about Donald Trump's administration, but we've got a lot of things happening this week. First of all, the comments to the Financial Post regarding North Korea over the weekend. We have the Chinese Prime Minister who is coming to town, and a lot. We have all sorts of things. Mike, take it up.
Yeah, indeed, Kevin. Over the weekend, Donald Trump, the U.S. president, talking about potentially the U.S. having to take unilateral action against North Korea regarding their nuclear program. That initially raised some Spockian eyebrows amongst market players, which thought, oh, that's possibly a negative for the start of the trading week. But as we go into the Monday trade, investors are kind of shrugging their shoulders and saying it's just kind of more rhetoric at this point. And they're more focused on the meeting set for later this week at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, where the U.S. president will be hosting the Chinese premier. And, you know, during the election campaign, Donald Trump kept talking about China as a major financial market and currency market manipulator, and they're going to take all sorts of action against China, which, of course, hasn't happened yet. So that's going to be interesting. They'll probably play a couple of rounds of golf as well, I'm assuming, at Mar-a-Lago later in the week. And then, you know, you talk about the busy economic calendar overall this week. We've got trade data, job data, the monthly auto sales report. We're starting the second quarter, and we're seeing more upside momentum. Major markets, for the most part, are higher this morning in what could be a fairly volatile week. Canadian dollar is kind of interesting in as much as it's down, despite all of the most recent economic signals pointing to an improving Canadian economy. Friday, good numbers on economic growth for January. Canadian dollar barely moved. This week, we've got jobs data. 6 of the past 7 months, the Canadian economy has created jobs, and in most cases, well above expectations. But there is a $2.1 billion bet right now against the Canadian dollar in the currency markets, what's known as a short position. Investors betting the Canadian dollar is going to drop because the U.S. Central Bank is in the process of raising interest rates several times this year. Bank of Canada not doing anything on that front, so the U.S. dollar is the place to be. The Canadian dollar, not so much. Bombardier, it appears that public and political backlash works when you have a PR fail that Bombardier was experiencing. You know, that big announcement last week, they were giving their executives all sorts of bonus checks at the same time of getting government bailouts and missing deadlines to the TTC on deliveries and, for the most part, losing money. Over the weekend, protest at Bombardier's Montreal headquarters. Lots of talk from Quebec politicians against why that was wrong for Bombardier officials to take bonus checks, and indeed they've backed that down. They're going to defer any of those bonuses to 2020 at the earliest, and it's only if they meet their financial targets. And a stock to watch this morning, Kevin, on Wall Street will be Tesla, as the company delivered 25,000 cars in the first quarter. That was above expectations, and this is all in advance of the rollout of the Tesla Model 3 later this year. They've really still got to ramp up production to meet the deadline and demand for the Model 3, which is now at something like 400,000 pre-orders on that vehicle. Back to you.